Hello and welcome to Peaky Boardgamer. My name is Victorakos. Today I'll be explaining the game Scout. Scout is a very simple card game for 2 to 5 players that plays in about, 20 minutes. This game has slightly different rules when you play with only 2 players. I'll be explaining these differences towards the end of this video. Let's start. Scout is a game that uses a deck of cards. Every card in this deck has 2 values that range from 1 to 10. In a 5 players game, you will use all of the cards. But if this is a 4 or a 2 players game, you have to find and exclude the one card depicting 10 and 9 as values. If this is a 3 players game, you'll have to exclude all 9 cards that depict a 10 value. Create a supply of victory point and scout chips in the middle of the table. Then, each player gets 1 scout and show token. Finally, determine a first player at random who gets this token in front of their play area. The game is now ready to start. At this point, I would like to pause for a second to ask you that if you like my videos, please subscribe if you haven't done already. More than 90% of this channel's viewers have not yet subscribed. Subscribing is the major way to support the channel and make it grow. Of course, you can also visit my Patreon page that you can find in the comments section. A game of Scout is played in rounds equal to the number of players, so in our example, the game will last for 3 rounds. At the beginning of each round, you shuffle all applicable cards and deal the entire deck to players. Players wait until all of their cards have been dealt, and then they pick up their cards and without rearranging them, they can decide if they'll be using this side with these numbers, or you can rotate the whole hand and use the numbers depicted in the other side. The smaller number you see here is the number depicted in the other side of the card. After you decide the side of the hand you'll be using, you cannot rearrange the cards until the end of the round. Players keep their cards secret at all times, but I will keep that player's cards open so it'll be easier for you to understand what I'm saying. The concept of this game is that all players will be showing sets of their cards. Other players will try to play stronger sets. When you play a stronger set, you're gaining points. And if your set is not overpassed by other players, then you win the round and other players will receive negative points. Players alternate turns in clockwise manner, starting with the player who holds the first player token. On your turn, you may either show a set or scout. These are your 2 options. When there is no active set in the middle of the table, you cannot scout and you must show a set. The first rule is that the set of cards you'll be showing must be consecutive, meaning one next to the other in your hand. Be reminded that you can never rearrange your cards. The second rule has to do with the values of the card. You either play cards that have the same value, or you play cards that are in absolute order, either ascending 3, 4, 5, 6, etc., or descending 7, 6, 5, etc. The general rule is that the more the cards of the set, the stronger it is. When there is no other set in the middle of the table, you can even play 1 card as a set. In this case, you can play any one of your cards. However, if you play stronger sets, it will be more difficult for other players to overpass it. Let's see some examples of sets that could be made with my own cards. I could play this set of 2 1 cards. They are consecutive and they have the same number. I could also play these 2 7s. Again, they are consecutive and they have the same value. I cannot add this 7 to the set because it is not consecutive with the other 2 cards. I could play these 2 and 3 cards. They are consecutive and in ascending order. I cannot add this 1 to the set because the set will not be in an ascending or descending order anymore. I could play this 7-6 card, a descending consecutive set. Or the even stronger set of 6, 7 and 8 ascending value set. For now, I choose to play the two sevens. The played set is placed in the middle of the table facing upwards and it becomes the active set. Every active set belongs to the player that played it, and there can only be one active set. After you play your set, all other cards of yours keep their arrangement. Now it's the next player's turn, and since there is an active set in the middle of the table, that player can either show a stronger set or scout. Before explaining scouting, let's see what makes a stronger set. First of all, it's the number of cards. If your set contains more cards than the active set, then it's automatically a stronger set. Is it possible for this player to create a set that has more cards than the active set? Unfortunately not. Of course, a set of less cards than the active set cannot be stronger. So let's explain which set is stronger when we have sets that consist of same number of cards. A set of same value cards is always stronger by ascending or descending value sets. So I cannot play my 8-7 descending set because this set has same values and it's stronger. If you also play a set of same value cards, then the stronger is the set with the higher value. So my 2 9s is a better set than the 2 7s. Let's change the active set a bit. What could I do to overpass this set? As it seems, I cannot play a set with more cards than 2. But I could play my 2 5s or my 2 9s, since a set with same value cards is stronger than a set with cards in an ascending or descending order. I could play a stronger set with ascending or descending cards, but the lower value of this set must be higher than the lower value of the active set. So, can I play 1 and 2? No, because 1 is less than 6. Can I play 8-7? Yes, because 7 is higher than 6. So let's say I decide to play my 2 9s. The 2 9s become the active set belonging to that player, and the cards of the previous active set are collected by the player who played the new active set, who will score points at the end of the round. Now let's explain scouting. If there is an active set in the middle of the table and you cannot show a stronger set, or if you don't wish to, then you must take a scout turn. When you scout, you take one card from the active set. If the set only has one card, then you take that one card and there is no active set anymore. But if the active set has more than one card, then you must choose a card which is in either end of the set. So I can either take the 4 or the 6. After you take the card, you may rotate it as you wish and place it anywhere in your hand. Then the owner of the active set takes one of these scout chips, which will count as a victory point at the end of the round, and that player's turn is over. All players, however, have one scout and show token. If you declare that you will be using your token at the beginning of your turn, then after you scout, you also show a set which is stronger than the active one. Players can only use this scout and show token once in every round. Now, the round ends in two ways. One way is that after you show a set of cards, you have no cards remaining in your hand. The round then ends immediately and you win that round. The other way is that a player is the owner of the active set, and that set cannot be overpassed by other players, and it's again the owner's turn while the same set is still active. Then the round ends immediately with the owner of the set as the winner. For example, player A has just shown this set. If player B scouts and then player C also scouts, the round ends and player A wins. When the round ends, players proceed with scoring. You gain one victory point for every card you collected by showing better sets. You gain one victory point for each scout token and -1 victory point for every card still in your hand at the end of the round. However, the winner of the round never scores minus points. So if that player was the owner of the active set that could not be overpassed, that player will not score -5 points. As we said, you play rounds equal to the number of players. If that was not the last round, you pass the first player token to the next clockwise player, all players refresh their scout and show tokens, and you begin the next round. At the end of the game, the player who scored the most points wins the game. In case of a tie, all tied players share their victory. There are some small differences in a game of 2 players. First of all, players do not have scout and show tokens. Instead, players start the game with 3 scout tokens each. Remaining scout tokens are not used. On the first round, you deal each player 11 cards. There will be 22 cards remaining in the deck, which will be used for the second and final round of the game. The change during gameplay is the following. Whenever a player scouts, they spend 1 of their scout tokens, which is placed in the middle of the table. You cannot scout, however, if you don't have a scout token to spend. After you scout using normal rules, the owner of the active set never gains any scout tokens. Now, that player is still their turn. They still have to either play a stronger set or scout again. So if a player has no remaining scout tokens and cannot play a stronger set, then they will lose the round. All other rules remain the same. And that were the rules of the game Scout. If you like our videos and want to see more videos like that, please subscribe to our channel. Until next time, have fun and play more board games.